Hello and welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. This is actually take 2 of the video because I started to do the intro and I looked down and I saw my address right here and here on the stickers. So let's try this. We're redoing this. So let me back up a second and say welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Today we're going to start working on the we're going to continue work on the Constitution from Agora Models, and the link is in the description to get this model yourself if you'd like to get it. We have shipment 2, pack 2, stage 2. I think pack is what they identify this as, with then you have separate stages. Pack 2 starts with stage 6, has many parts. And when we get done, I've already looked ahead. This marks where the ribs will be finished, and I believe all this planking here, along with many other things, will be done by the end of this shipment, by the end of this pack. Not this first video. Still got this piece hanging out here, the one that I had break off and lost and rebuilt. So hope you enjoy the video. I'm going to go ahead and get the parts packed open. And in here we have 2 boxes. And some more sheets for building the ribs. And that is everything in the box. More sheets for building the ribs. If you remember, in the last video, we built rib through rib 7 here. I have the plate somewhere around here, somewhere in the shop right behind me, with ribs 9 and 10 are on there. And like I said, today we're building through here. If I double check, it will be through, similar to last time, we're going to do. So we've got 8 and 9 on this other sheet, 10 through 13, 14 through 17, and 18 and 19 are on the sheets that came today. So I'll be building those in stage 1 or stage 6. And the first thing they ask you to do is go through and mark all the pieces. In this pack, we have more of the wood pieces. Let's see, what have we got? We've got a 5x5 oak, 14 of them. We have some lime wood strips that are 3x3. Actually, these are the lime wood strips. We've got some more that are 2x3. We've got a rod, and then we have several plate parts, which, sorry about the loud noise. These I'm going to just put into the storage box that I've got already set up for this. And in here we have several more placards of parts. The tape is on there just to hold these parts in place. I need to figure out where in here, somewhere in here is the couple of pieces have fallen out. And then we have these. I believe these are just temporary flooring to make sure that this is shaped right, make sure the floor is shaped right, so that we can actually put our mast down into here after we do some shaping with it. So first step on this is always going to be, and I'm not gonna record this because it is just a lot of time. No need for that to be on video. You know, no need for you to watch me sit here for the next half hour or so marking each piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here. I'll take care of that. I'll get the pieces cut out. I'll come back with the placards, starting to do the gluing, just to give you a refresher on how I glue these, how they say to glue these. And then we'll continue on from there. Not sure how long this video is going to be. My plan is, let's see, not stage 8. My plan is, since we have stage 7, we're gonna build all the ribs, and then we're going to put them in. That will be a good stopping point probably for this video. I might go so far as to do the what are they calling the okay, to cut these frames. I will bring that back when I come back. During some point in this video, I will show how I'm measuring between the ribs, just as a refresher, so that my audience can keep up to where I'm at, what I'm doing, and continue to watch how the build progresses. Made some mistakes on this piece, corrected them, learned from my mistakes, going to make sure I don't make those same mistakes. Instead, I plan on making other mistakes. In actuality, I don't plan on making any mistakes, but that's usually how it goes. So I will be back once I've labeled all these parts, got started on the ribs, putting them together, and just to show you my progress. Hang out or stay tuned, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've gone through and I've numbered everything. I've started putting the frames together. This one might be a little bit spread. Hopefully I'll be able to work with it. I just noticed it. Maybe it just needs some glue. What I'm also doing is, because I've had some parts falling out of the sheets, what I'm doing is I'm putting everything that's labeled 4 point something in here. I'm going to continue to do that. If I have parts that are coming out of the wooden sheet, I'll just put them in a box and have all the parts for the next stage pre-sorted, I guess you'd call it. But you can see I now have the frames 8 and 9, and underneath I've got frames 10 and 11. And instead of using the wax paper like I did before, I'm using Glad wrap. You know, it's Glad press and seal. So when I press it down, I tape the paper down. Then I press the wrap down on top of the paper so that it will not stick to the cling wrap when I take the ribs off. It's a slow process. I'm actually on the Sunday stream while doing this, and it's probably all I'm going to get to today, because it is a very slow process. These need to dry for a while before I can put them onto the keel. Couldn't think of the word, but like I said, I've got 4 done. So I'm up to 11 out of 19, or 11 out of the up to 19 that I've got to do. So really slow process, but it is a very good process. And once I get these off, I'll sand them down a little bit. You can see the numbers are still on them. Didn't think about sanding the numbers off before gluing them down. But it's a good process, and I think it will work really well. And I'll show you, since I happen to have the wrap here, what I'm doing is, instead of using the cutter that comes in the box, is I'm just unrolling a bit of the cling wrap, and then I'm taking my knife and just cutting across it. And you can see it actually sticks to me because it is designed to be a press, and like its name says press and seal. So then I'll take a piece, since it will fit over the area, and that's the key thing, is you want to make sure that you have the area that you're putting it down on will be completely covering the glue joints. Put it down, and you can see it's staying in place. So the next thing I'll do after this is I'll cut parts 2.10 and 2.9 out. I will tape the top legs down, put glue on 2.9, slide it up in here, push them together, hold them for a couple minutes, and then I'll move on to the next rib. So it's just, like I said, it's a slow process. It's a good process, and it's probably going to take 4 to 5 hours to get them, not that long, probably 2 to 3 hours to get them all done. Going to keep pressing on here, and I'll be back in a little bit once I get some more of them done. Okay, so I have all the ribs made now. I had to lay them out, had to, lay them on the sheets, glue them. I've come back, I've sanded them, each one, and it took quite a while. It took several hours to get all the ribs done. Next thing we're going to do, and I'm going to go ahead and place all of these in here, but the next thing we're going to do is we're going to glue these in one at a time, avoiding the problems that I had with rib number 5, which, if you remember from previous videos, rib number 5 is a little bit wonky in there. It's up on one side. Hasn't created any problems yet, but it might as we go. I've also got to make sure, like right here, I can see this rib is not straight. So as I glue these in, I'm going to use the spacers to make sure that the ribs end up not only vertically correct, but straight too. What I'm probably going to end up doing, looking at this one here, is, that is very odd. Maybe it is flat. So I'm looking at this one, and I don't know if you can see it because you're looking from top down. I'm looking from the side. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, you can see there, this rib is a little bit off. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little bit off. And I'm just going to have to go through slowly. And this is actually a learning experience at this point. I may have to build each rib, put it into place, unlike the mass production that I did here. Put each rib in place to make sure that it is straight, and that would probably help right there. That one's not going down. That's doing the same thing that rib 5 was doing. There we go. Actually, that straightened it up quite a bit by turning it. But I've got to go through and make sure that every rib is not only straight perpendicular, straight up and down, but they also need to be evenly spaced, because I have had some of the ribs up in the front that I've had to go back and repair as I've put these ribs together. And the way I'm going to do these is I'm going to get all 4 of my 1, 2, 3 blocks out, and I'm going to put one on either side of each rib. I'll demonstrate in a second once I get the last of these in. And by the way, you can see here that we are starting to get the parts for the poop deck. We've got the I'm not even positive what this area is called. It's lower. We've got the fore area that's higher, and then the poop deck is going to be higher. Again, we've got this lowest area here. But what I'm going to do, let me take one rib and put it back here. What I'm going to do with the 1, 2, 3 blocks is I'm going to set one on either side, pushed up against the what is it? The center of the hull. The term is just evading me right now. I'm sure somebody will put it in the comments. the keel. So these are going to go up against the keel, plus up against each other, making sure that I have 100% vertical or perpendicular to the rest of the hull. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm also probably going to find a way to put weight on the center to make sure it stays down. And once all of these are in place, that will be, let me double check. That will be the end of stage 6. I will come back after that, and that actually puts us down here to, will be actually this one when it's back up here in place will be rib 19, but it will put us through pieces 2-2.24, and it will end it will end stage 6. Stage 7, I'll have to decide at that point how much video I have, just to make sure. I do also, because I had some issues up here in the front, I already have one of the pieces for later on in this pack, because the ribs up here in the front I had some issues with. I'm going to go ahead and put this here like this to hold that piece in place, being gentle, because like I said, I have had ribs come off, and it's because, and I'm contacting Agora as well to see what their thoughts are, because I think it's a problem with the instructions that they're not telling us to sand the char off. Let me get one of these. The char off when we're joining these rib pieces, which means it's not going to join as readily as it could. They're telling us to use white glue and not telling us to sand the char off. I should have known better. I didn't sand the char off, and that's why some of my ribs have caused some issues. The ones that have come apart, I have put back together after sanding the char on both sides. And I think they're going to do much better. Again, I've said it before, it's something I know better than to do it. I need to make sure that Agora understands, this is their first wood model. There's not a whole lot of wooden partworks out there. So we need to make sure, or I need to make sure that I let them know to fix this, so that in the future, their instructions, since their instructions are online only, in the future, the instructions get updated so that people who, not like me, who have not done wood models, understand what they're looking at. And I just realized I can't do what I was saying, which is put the 1, 2, 3 blocks on either side. But what I can do is put them in here like this, make sure they're squared to each other, push them up against here, which is going to make sure they're squared. This is squared, this is all the way down, and then once I glue it, and that's probably how I did that on rib number 5, is I put one on one side. Once this is glued down, I will put one up there like that to hold the rib in place. So, I'm going to pause the camera here, start gluing ribs. I will come back. This is going to be a long process, because I'm going to let each rib dry for a couple of hours between ribs that I put on here. And again, just to show you, this is how I'm doing the gluing the ribs. And there's no good way to get rid of the char inside of the slots here. So I'm going to put a drop of glue inside there, drop of glue inside there, slide this down, because we are not gluing the ribs down to the building board. Make sure that on both sides it's fully seated. Take a Q-tip on both sides, and actually on all four sides here. What I'm doing is I'm cleaning up the excess glue while also getting the glue in towards the interior of the joint. What happens when I do that is once I put these blocks in there, it's kind of funny, they will actually glue to the part. Not a big deal. They come loose very easily. I'm double checking now. So that one's in there straight. Set this on here to give it some weight. Make sure it stays down. Double check again. Make sure it's all flat. And we'll leave this sitting here for now. I'll come back between videos, or between segments. I'll come back, do probably half a dozen or a dozen of these. Make sure they're all good. One of the things I can also do while I'm doing this, because these ribs are spaced relatively the same, is I want to make sure, now that I've done some work with the other ribs, I want to make sure these are as close to perfect as I can. Put the spacers in there like that, and slowly put it together. Working with wood is extremely slow. I'm going to go ahead and put this last one up on here just to hold everything in place. And I'll cut here and be back in a few minutes. Be back instantly for you. It's going to be a couple hours for me, probably the next day, and we'll see how this turns out as we go through and do multiple more ribs. I'll try and make sure I come back at, like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll come back at rib 12 and give you an update. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Just wanted to show the last rib going in, show you how I figured out how to get them in there and get them perfect. So what I do is I put a drop of glue in here, and I just did the one in front of it. I wanted to get this last one done so I can press on with more of the build. But I put a drop of glue into there, and then down inside the keel, or the keel. Make sure that these go all the way down the way they're supposed to. Make sure they're set in place. Then I take a Q-tip, and I'm basically spreading the glue into the joint to make sure that it is good. Make sure it gets pushed back down so that it's not going to cause an issue. Bring in the 1, 2, 3 blocks. I'll set one on top like this, making sure that everything stays pushed down. And then I'll take the spreader here and I'll move it over to make sure that the spacing on these ribs stays correct, as well as making sure that everything stays seated down into the build board. So up here in the front, I've done the work here to get this piece built. I've also made sure to get these ribs. I've had to separate a couple of them, break them. I had to take a couple of the ribs off so that I could do this and get it in here right. But when I've dropped that down into place, switch cameras real quick here, you can see that that mast is in correctly. It's got a slight backward angle, and it's, you know, it's in place. It should work out really well. Still might have an issue with the 5th rib from here. If I do, I'm going to put a level of some sort. Somehow I'm going to make sure that this all ends up the level it should be, mainly going across here. It shouldn't be an issue because I only have one rib that is off kilter, and that's the back one here. So however I have to do it, I'll probably have to sand a little bit down here because this is the spot, this is the one side that's up a little bit. But when I do it, I will make sure everything is level and lines up so that everything works perfect. Just wanted to pop in here. I'm almost done with, I believe I'm almost done with this stage of this pack, or this stage of this pack. I'll double check, and then once it's done, I will come back, close out this video, and we'll press on to the next pack. So I'll see you in a few. Okay, I just double checked the camera view, and this is actually a couple of minutes after the last cut. Not camera view. I double checked the instructions, and this is actually the end of stage 6. I do have some things that I've done that are further down, but we can leave. We're going to leave this here. Stage 6 is now done. We've got the ribs in. Stage 7 will be extending the bracing down here. Stage 8 and 9, more of the same. We're going to be doing more of a second level of bracing, and then we're going to actually be doing the masts and making sure everything is ready to go. So that is all for this video. I hope you're enjoying it. If you are, please like and subscribe. Leave a bell icon, or hit the bell icon to be notified. I want to see you leave a bell icon. Hit the bell icon to be notified of any time I post new content. Leave a message. I want to hear what you think of the build, what you think of my channel, anything you want to say. And there's also a email in the description that you can email me directly at. And if you want to get this model for yourself, it is a very good model. It's complicated, a few things here and there. You know, I've already had an issue with it. I've fixed it the best I can. We'll press on, and as things go on, I'll get it fixed better, as needed. But if you want to get this for yourself, there's a link in the description. Really good model, especially if you're into wood kits. And with that, I'm going to say take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Thank you very much to Agora for allowing me to build this. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow, and I'll see you in the next video or stream.